Hey, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Writer's Bookshelf series. We are on the 6th episode of the Writer's Bookshelf, and if you've watched it this far, you are a rock star. Don't anyone tell you differently, except for maybe a real rock star. They might know something you don't. But anyway, for everyone else, thanks again for coming back, and today we are going to do a very fantastic book, one that I actually avoided for the longest time because I just didn't think I needed to read it at all. I had no idea why I should ever want this book. So it just seemed like, okay, here we go. This is going to be lame. And I just kept avoiding and avoiding. And then one day I just like, you know what, let me just look at it. Let me just see what's in it. And I thought, oh, I should read this book. And then I did read the book, and I thought it was a great book. And that book, before I spoil the surprise, although it may be in the header, never mind, you probably already know what it is. See, you got to plan these things out, and I don't do that. I'm a pantser. And that's the point of this video, is today we are doing a pantser book. Story trumps structure. So last 3 weeks we did Larry Brooks' series, Story Engineering, Story Physics, and Story Fix, which is based on story structure. This one is about how to do a great book without following a core structure. Now, the thing with this book is it's not advocating to be without reason, to be without a plan. It's not really telling you about that. What this is actually the book for organic writers. So if you find that you thrive in the organic marketplace, which is, again, when you write for discovery, where you kind of know what your goal is, but you don't necessarily know the path you're going to take to get there. That's what this book is about. It's about the journey you take as the writer, writing the story and discovering as you go. And it goes through all the different ways in which you can be sure that you're still on track, that you're not wasting your time, but you can still enjoy the process of discovery. And here's a snippet from the back here. So don't limit your fiction, liberate it. All too often, following the rules of writing can constrict rather than inspire you. With story trump structure, you can shed those rules about 3-act structures, rising action, outlining, and more to craft your most powerful, emotional, and gripping stories. Award-winning novelist Stephen James explains how to trust a narrative process to make your story believable, compelling, and engaging, and debunks the common myths that hold writers back from creating their best work. So you can, here are the bullet points. Ditch your outline and learn to write organically. Set up promises for readers and deliver them. Discover how to craft a satisfying climax. Master the subtleties of characterization. Add mind-blowing twists to your fiction. When you focus on what lies at the heart of a story, tension, desire, crisis, escalation, struggle, discovery, rather than plot templates and formulas, you will begin to break out of the box and write fiction that resonates with your readers. So story trump structure will transform the way you think about stories and the way you write them forever. So, as you can probably tell from the back jacket, it doesn't teach you a different type of story structure. It's not advocating, hey, do things the backwards way. It's not telling you break all the rules to the point where you're writing about a napkin and you think it's good enough. Like it's still sticking to this concept of write a story people want to read, but you can do it through a system that that you enjoy the process. You can let yourself get into the story and be liberated in the concept of telling the story that you want. What it does is it focuses on emotion. It focuses on the reader's desire to keep going, because ideally you have a desire to keep going. And so it's going to show you how to do that. And, it's right here. It's right there in the boldface. Engage your readers. It tells you how to do that. Stories pivot on struggles and discoveries. So when you're coming up with ideas, explore your own life and your own struggles, mistakes, temptations, questions, regrets, and secrets. Discoveries like decisions, lessons, consequences, life transitions, and insights. Generally speaking, women prefer to see fictional characters in relational conflict, and men like to see them in situational conflict. To draw in a broader audience, weave both kinds of struggles in your stories. Well, there you go. There's the book right there on a random page. The idea, again, it's you're trying to identify whether or not your story is working, and it works because your reader wants to keep going. And that's the thesis of the book. Is structure, you need it in order to weave your, it's like a house. you don't build a house, by starting with a roof, right? I hope you don't. You typically start with the foundation, then you put up the post, or the cinder blocks, whatever you're building out of. The plumbing will have to go in there probably before anything else, because you want to make sure that you don't put up all the walls and you're like, ah, crap, how am I going to take a bath? You want to make sure everything that you need is in its right place before you kind of finish the job. And if you don't have all the pieces there, something's going to be wrong. Something's not going to fit. And with structure, we do want to remember that there are things that we need in order to accomplish it. But with story trump structure, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, look, you need to have the roof. You got to have all the basic essentials that are required for a house to be up to code and to be livable. But, does your living room have to be next to the kitchen? Does the bedroom have to be on the second floor? Is it possible to build a bedroom in the basement? Probably not advisable, because that would probably get the attention of the authorities. But, I mean, if that's your house, and if people want to visit, why not? So, put that kitchen next to the bathroom. Or don't. Think it through. But when you're writing, think about what works. What does this work? Are you engaged? Is your reader engaged? And so Story Trump Structure is the book that'll kind of walk you through that process of being engaged as a writer and a reader, and going through the tips on how to keep your reader reading, and have you enjoy what you're doing so that you don't want to give up, that you want to keep going. And the reason why I like this book more than I thought I would is because, again, this is how I used to write before I took structure so seriously, that I'm constantly racking my brain, like, am I doing this right? Is my character motivated? Blah, blah, blah. Well, again, those things are important, but at least this reminds me how to have fun with it again. And really, if you're not having fun doing it, you should still do it, but it's going to be a lot harder. Because, again, the reason why you write is because you have something to say. And not everything you say is fun, but it should be important. And hopefully, if you value the importance of it, you'll keep doing it. But if you enjoy doing it, you're more likely to have a reader who enjoys it too. And that's really the key of not only getting them to finish your book, but to get them to come back for your next one. So if you are serious about writing, and hopefully if you're still watching after the 6th episode, you want to keep doing this. And believe me, now is the time to decide, are you going to check in or check out? Because after this, you're committed. I can tell you, writing's hard. I don't care how much training you do, how much time you put into it. Even with this book, it's not going to get easier from here on out. It's not. I'm not going to convince you it is. It's not. So get out now while you can. Now's the time. But don't get out, because it's fun. It's worth it. Don't let these gray hairs fool you. Don't let whatever happened to me up here fool you. It's worth it. I promise. It's worth it. It's worth it. Make sure you hit the likes button and come back for the next one, and make sure you subscribe and do all that fun stuff that YouTubers make you do. Well, they don't make you do anything, but they suggest that you should. It always helps to have that engagement. And also leave a comment below if you have a comment on this book, or if there's a book you want to a review on. I might have it on the bookshelf. I'm only doing books that I have, and ideally books that I've read, because I just think that's easier to be able to go into my bookshelf when the book is already there. But if there's one that I have that or if there's a suggestion you have and I happen to have it, we're going to probably get to that point at some point in the near future, probably for season 2. I see, just to kind of remind you guys, I do have a plan for this season. So any suggested books you have will be good for like when we go into the season 2 stuff, which will probably be, I don't know when we'll be, but we'll get there, because I think this is a good series and I hope you guys are enjoying it. So anyway, all right, well, have a good day, and come back next Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or after work if you're working. And I truly don't know what we're going to do next week, because I have not thought that far ahead yet. but I'm going to go into my bookshelf and I'm going to find something that I think you will like and benefit from. And I think I do know which one now. See, you give yourself 2 seconds, think, and you think you know which one you're going to go to. I'm pretty sure I know. It's probably going to be something by Les Edgerton. Pretty sure. If you don't know who that is, look him up, because it's probably going to be his book that we cover next. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Come back next week. See you then.